This is me Gayatri Prakash and welcome to my page. എല്ലാവർക്കും എൻ്റെ പേജിലോട്ട് സ്വാഗതം. So today I would like to discuss with you all about 19th of November 2022 OET exam. So in which I am going to detailedly explain about OET writing. Okay, so what was the case note? It was a known case letter. Writing a letter to a patient's own GP. So who is writing this letter? A community nurse who is doing a home visit for the patient because of his condition, and end of the visit that she is writing a letter to patient's GP because the patient's condition is not that great. So immediately the GP has to assess the patient and he has to take a decision about the patient condition, and also he has to involve his patient family members. Okay, so let's move on to the case note. So the patient name was Mr. Oliver Mackey. He is 75 years old. He lives with his wife as well as his son, and he has a strong significant family history of cancer, and also he is a retired postman, and he has medical conditions such as like asthma and hypertension, so that he is on medications for the same. So here, why the community nurse is making a visit to the patient house and what is the reason behind that? So let's see about it. So actually the first visit she's making a first visit on 1st of January 2022 because patient had a fall while he was taking a shower. So she was called up to his house and in an emergency situation. So the community nurse visited the patient at home due to fall. So that she assessed the patient and she found that the patient had some bluishness and redness and lacerations. So that she was stressed that, and she just given support to the patient, and she was discussed to the patient family members to provide adequate support and management. And the second visit happened on 4th of January 2022 because again the patient had a fall while the patient was shifted, or means transferred the patient from wheelchair to bed with the help of his wife. So unfortunately he ended up with a fall. So thereby immediately she was called up to the patient house by his family members, and then she assessed the patient. There was no risk of injuries and patient is free from traumas. However, she was discussed with the patient family members to take a decision about his condition. And also at end of the discussion they came to know that the patient family members is requesting for the hospice care. So the nurse was discussed with the patient and patient wife. However, the patient wife is not willing to end up with the hospice care, and because of his condition it was affecting his wife's and health condition also. Because of that she had a poor sleep and she was so anxious about his condition. And the last visit on 8th of January 2022, so again she was called up to the patient house in an emergency situation because he had a fall while he was going to the toilet. So now again she talked to this patient and patient family members, and the patient agreed for hospice care. And apart from that she arranged a help for the patient to support the patient, and also she arranged the home care help to assist him in activities of daily living, and also she arranged for an occupational therapist to provide him walking aids to prevent the risk of further fall. And now she is writing a letter to the patient's GP, family doctor, to take a decision and to provide him a hospice care to find some intervention for his health condition. So this is a very simple letter. So it is a known case letter, writing a letter to a patient's own GP. Okay, so now how we can write the introduction. So as usual, to write a letter, first we have to write the date. So here we are writing a letter on 8th of January 2022, and next one is address. We are addressing this letter to the patient's own GP. And then salutation. So dear, if they have given the name you can write it as dear doctor and what is his surname. If not given you can write dear doctor, that's more than enough. And then writing the reference, there you have to write the patient name is Mr. Oliver Mackey and his age is 75 years old. Now coming to the point of introduction. So to make an introduction, as usual, we need 3 points. One is patient condition, another one is patient name, and third one is purpose. So here patient name is Mackey, Oliver Mackey, and then the condition is recurrent fall. And also what is the purpose? To find a proper intervention for the patient's condition, to take a decision about the patient condition as well, isn't it? So now with these 3 points, we are going to make an introduction. So because of the known case, we are writing to the patient's own GP. Better we can start like this. I am writing to update the current condition of Mr. Oliver Mackey, who has recurrent fall, full stop. He requires your further intervention and management. He requires your further intervention and management for hospice care. He requires your further intervention and management for hospice care. So we are finishing because they are expecting the hospice care for the patient. So we have to mention it in the introduction. It is good to mention it. Okay, so I'm writing to update the current condition of Mr. Oliver Mackey, who has recurrent fall, full stop, who has recurrent fall, full stop. He requires your further intervention and management for hospice care. That's it. Now coming to the present medical history paragraph. Here we have to start to write from the first date of like first visit, second visit, third visit. So there are 3 visits. First visit was happened on 1st of January. So she can write, Mr. Mackey has been under my home visit since 1st of January 2022 due to fall, due to recurrent fall. She can write due to recurrent fall. Okay. Due to recurrent fall, during my visit, he had a fall. Like there are 3 times of fall, right? So on the first occasion, patient fall. You can start like that. On first occasion, patient had a fall. Patient had a fall while he was taking shower. On assessment, he was found to have bruisedness and a laceration, which was treated and managed with a proper dressing. Full stop. On the second occasion, it was on. So on 4th of January 2022, patient had a fall again and while transferring from bed to wheelchair with the help of wife. So again there was, however, there was no injuries and the patient family was discussed about the patient condition and they were suggested about hospice care, though patient and the patient wife were refused. In addition, his wife was anxious and suffered with a disturbed sleep because of his condition. So these 2 things you can write it in the second passage. Now third passage will be like a today's history. What happened during today's visit, because here we are not going to mentioning about the patient's social background. So here we are explaining about the last visit, which means today's. On today's visit, 8th, during today's visit on today's visit on 8th of January 2022, patient had a fall in the toilet. Patient had a fall in the toilet. So what happened, like a patient had a fall in the while he was showering, or patient had a in the bathroom. So we can write patient had a fall in the bathroom. So here what happened, therefore as a result of that, patient and patient family members were agreed for. Patient family members are agreed for hospice care. Apart from that, he was arranged for home care, home nurse, home help for assisting him in activities of daily living, as well as occupational therapies to provide walking aids to enhance his mobility and also to prevent the future risk of fall. Now coming to the point of recommendation passage, it would be greatly appreciated if you could assess and support the patient as well as his family members for his betterment. Assess his condition. You can write it also. It would be greatly appreciated if you could. It would be highly beneficial if you could assess the patient condition and provide further intervention for his betterment. Like that also we can write, your concern on his condition is immensely appreciated. Full stop. Please contact me for further details and yours sincerely. If the nurse name has given, you can write it as yours sincere. Sorry, the doctor's name has given, you can write it as yours sincerely. If not given, yours faithfully. So it is a very simple letter. So introduction, 3 points. Because of he has a recurrent fall, you don't have a particular diagnosis to mention for that. And also the second passage, the first 2 visit, what happened, because the nurse has been called up to the patient family members in an emergency situation because of the fall. First time. and second time, and the third time patient agreed for this hospice care. So we are just writing to the doctor like it would be highly beneficial if you could assess and provide further intervention for his betterment. Your concern on his condition is immensely appreciated. Because why we are not mentioning in the recommendation hospice, which is already written it in the introduction paragraph, so again not necessary to repeat it. Okay, so it's a very simple letter. I hope you all have done in a very good way, and hope for the best result. Whomever is want to join in our class, our number has given in our description. You can contact us at any time and you can join in our class. We have a 10 days class, 20 days class, and we have a mock batch, and also we have a 40 days, 60 days beginners classes also going on. It is only an online classes, and you can contact us at any time, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.